Welcome back to Fix It Fast, everybody. So last week, we took a deep dive into dishwashers that just won't dry those dishes right. You open it up, and it's like they just went through a rinse cycle.
Oh, it's the worst.
It is.
Especially when you're trying to get dinner on the table.
Right, you're running late. And, well, this week we're tackling a different kind of moisture mystery. Those musty dryer smells that just won't go away.
Yeah, you think your clothes are dry, you pull them out, and that smell just hits you.
It's like that laundry monster is hiding in your dryer. And you know what? It's a really common problem.
Oh yeah, we get tons of calls about it here at Max Appliance Repair.
So let's get right to it. What's the first thing we should be checking when we're trying to figure out why our dryer's gone funky?
Well, 9 times out of 10, it's ventilation.
Okay, ventilation makes sense.
Your dryer's got to breathe. Think of it like this. It's working hard, pushing all that warm, moist air out, and if it can't escape properly, it gets trapped inside.
And that's where the mold and mildew party starts.
Exactly. That's usually the source of that musty smell.
So step one for our listeners is to check that outside vent hood.
Absolutely. Make sure it's not blocked by anything lint debris, birds' nests.
Bird's nests, seriously.
Oh, yeah. You wouldn't believe some of the things we've found. And while you're at it, take a look at the duct itself, that long tube connecting your dryer to the outside vent.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
Make sure it's not kinked or clogged with lint. That's a fire hazard waiting to happen. And actually, the duct itself can be a problem, too.
Really? What do you mean?
Well, if it's super long and winding, all those twists and turns restrict airflow.
So a shorter, straight duct is better?
Much better. Less friction, better airflow, happy, drier, fresh clothes. You could even consider a dryer vent booster fan if you want to give your ventilation system an extra boost.
Like a supercharger for your dryer. Okay, that's great advice, but what if the ventilation seems fine? Where do we look next?
Well, sometimes the problem's right inside the dryer drum.
Like what?
Overstuffed loads. Forgetting a load of wet clothes overnight. It happens to the best of us. All that trapped moisture can definitely cause that musty smell.
So don't overload the dryer, make sure everything's properly sorted.
Exactly. Sometimes just towing a dry towel in with a wetter load can help absorb some of that excess moisture.
Oh, that's a good tip. I'm always cramming in as much as I can.
And of course, if your clothes are still damp after a full cycle, that's a sign that your venting system needs attention.
It's like your dryer sending you an SOS. All right, so we've checked a dryer's lungs and made sure it's not drowning in moisture. What's next on our musty smell checklist?
All right, this is where I get a little passionate. Cleaning the lint trap and dryer drum.
Okay, I know you're going to say I should be doing that already, but trust me, I clean my lint trap religiously.
I'm not just talking about cleanliness here. It's about safety. A clogged lint filter is a fire hazard. Lint is highly flammable, and when it builds up, it can easily ignite from the dryer's heat.
Okay, you've made your point. Clean the lint trap every time. But what about the dryer drum itself? Do we really need to clean that too?
You'd be surprised what can build up in there. Lint care, fabric softener, residue, it all creates a sticky mess that traps moisture and breeds bacteria.
And bacteria equals musty smells.
You got it. So what's the magic solution?
Tell me you have a secret weapon.
Well, it's not really a secret, but our go-to solution here at Max Appliance Repair is vinegar and water.
Vinegar and water, seriously.
It's cheap, effective, and it works wonders. Just mix equal parts white vinegar and water, grab a clean cloth, and give the drum a good scrub. You can even use this to wipe down the lint filter housing and the area around the dryer door.
So like a spa day for my dryer. All right, so far so good. We've covered ventilation, moisture control, and we've got a sparkling clean dryer drum. Are we done?
Not so fast. Sometimes the problem runs a little deeper. We're talking about mold or mildew growing inside the dryer.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
It's not ideal, but it happens especially if you've had moisture issues in the past. Mold and mildew love warm, damp environments, and a dryer that's not properly ventilated or cleaned can become a breeding ground for them.
Okay, so what do we do if we think we might have a mold or mildew situation?
Safety first. Always unplug the dryer before you start cleaning. Then remove the lint filter, vacuum out any lint or debris from the drum and the exhaust duct. And guess what? Vinegar and water to the rescue again.
They're like the dynamic duo of dryer cleaning.
You can use the vinegar solution to clean any areas you can reach, but for a really deep clean, you might want to call in the professionals.
Makes sense. Professionals have all the right tools and they know where to look.
Exactly. And you know what else? If you're in the market for a new dryer, think about getting one with a sanitizing feature.
Oh yeah, those are pretty cool.
It uses high heat to kill bacteria and keep your dryer fresh.
But even with a sanitizing cycle, regular cleaning and good ventilation are still super important.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground already. We've talked about ventilation, moisture control, cleaning, and even mold and mildew. I'm starting to feel like a dryer detective.
Me too. But you know what? Sometimes the thing you think is making your clothes smell better could actually be part of the problem.
Wait. What are you talking about?
Fabric softener.
Fabric softener? No way. I love fabric softener.
I know it makes your clothes feel soft and smell nice, but here's the thing. Fabric softener, especially the liquid kind, can leave a residue on your dryer drum and lint filter.
And that residue can trap moisture and create a breeding ground for bacteria.
Bingo. Which leads to, you guessed it, musty smells.
So what do I do? Give up my beloved fabric softener?
Not necessarily. You can try using less or switch to drier sheets. And of course, vinegar and water can help remove fabric softener residue too.
Vinegar and water, they really are the superheroes of dryer cleaning. Okay, so we've talked about ventilation, moisture, lint, mold, even fabric softener. Is there anything else that could be causing that musty smell?
There's one more thing, and this one might surprise you. We need to talk about stagnant water inside your dryer.
Hold on, stagnant water. In my dryer? How is that even possible? Yeah, I'm still trying to wrap my head around that one. Stagnant water in a dryer. It's not like there's a swimming pool in there.
Right, but trust me, we've seen it. And it's usually not a ton of water, more like a dampness or if I'm all puddle.
Okay, so if it's not a lot of water, where's it coming from?
Well, 9 times out of 10, it's a plumbing issue, not something wrong with the dryer itself.
Oh, okay, so this is where I might need to call in a real plumber.
You might be right, but before you do that, there are a few things you can check yourself. First, take a look at the drain hose. You know, the one that carries water away from the dryer.
Got it.
Make sure it's not kinked or twisted. And check for any clogs or blockages.
So just like with the van hose, we're looking for anything that could be causing a backup.
Exactly. And while you're at it, check the connection points where the hose attaches to the dryer and the drain pipe. Make sure those connections are tight and secure, and look for any signs of leaks.
Good point. A loose connection or a leak could definitely let some water escape.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say I've checked the drain hose and everything seems to be in order, but I still think there might be stagnant water hiding somewhere. What's my next move?
Well, this is where you might need to get a little more hands-on. You might need a plumber's snake.
A plumber's snake, like the kind you use to unclog a toilet?
Yep, that's the one. It's a flexible tool that can clear out stubborn clogs in pipes and drains.
I've seen those things used on those home improvement shows. They look kind of scary.
They're not too bad, and there are tons of videos online that show you how to use them. But if you're not comfortable using one, or if you think there might be a bigger plumbing problem, it's always best to call a professional.
Yeah, better safe than sorry, especially when it comes to plumbing. Okay, so we've covered a lot about the dryer itself, but could the laundry room itself be contributing to those musty smells?
Absolutely. The laundry room environment can definitely play a role. If your laundry room is damped or poorly ventilated, or if there's any mold or mildew growing, those issues can definitely affect your clothes and contribute to that musty smell.
That makes sense. Laundry rooms are often in basements or other small spaces that don't get a lot of fresh air.
Exactly. So think of your laundry room as an extension of your dryer. Keeping it clean, dry, and well ventilated is just as important as maintaining the dryer itself.
So what are some easy things people can do to improve their laundry room environment?
Well, your ventilation is key. If you have a window in your laundry room, open it whenever possible, especially when the dryer's running. And if you don't have a window, or if it's humid outside, consider using a fan or a dehumidifier to help circulate the air and reduce moisture.
Okay, those are good tips. Anything else?
Of course, regular cleaning is important. Wipe down surfaces, mop the floor, and clean up any spills or leaks right away. And keep an eye out for any signs of mold or mildew. You can use a bleach solution to kill mold and mildew, but always wear gloves and be careful when you're using bleach.
Safety first. And if you're dealing with a serious mold problem, it's best to call in a professional.
Agreed. Now, we talked about a lot of DIY solutions, but sometimes those musty smells just won't go away no matter what you try.
Yeah, what happens when you've tried everything and you're still stuck with those musty clothes? Is it time to call in the professionals?
You know, there's no shame in calling in the experts, especially when it comes to appliances. If you've tried all the DIY tips and tricks and you're still dealing with a musty smell, it might be time to consider professional dryer cleaning services.
Okay, that makes sense. But what exactly does a professional dryer cleaning involve? Is it more than just a quick wipe down?
Oh, it's much more than that. Professional cleaners have specialized tools and techniques that allow them to deep clean your dryer inside and out. They'll clean the drum, the lint trap, and the venting system, removing all that built-up lint and debris. And they'll also inspect for any clogs or blockages that you might have missed.
So they really get in there and get everything sparkling clean.
They sure do, and in some cases, they might even recommend removing and cleaning the dryer's heating element.
The heating element, I didn't even know that could get dirty.
It can, and a dirty heating element can reduce your dryer's efficiency and even create a fire hazard.
Wow, so professional cleaning not only helps with musty smells, but it also keeps our dryers running safely and efficiently.
Exactly, and it can even extend the lifespan of your dryer. By keeping it clean and well-maintained, you're preventing wear and tear on the components, which can save you money in the long run.
So it's really an investment in the health of your dryer and your wallet. Makes sense. But how do you find a reputable professional dryer cleaning company? Are there any red flags we should be looking out for?
That's a great question. First and foremost, make sure the company is licensed and insured. You can also check online reviews to see what other customers are saying, and don't be afraid to ask questions. A reputable company will be happy to explain their process, answer any concerns you have, and give you a clear quote.
Great advice. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today, from dryer ventilation to laundry room maintenance. And we've talked about a lot of different solutions for getting rid of those pesky, musty smells. But before we wrap up this episode, I want to emphasize one really important point.
What's that?
Well, we've talked a lot about cleaning and maintenance, but I think it's important to remember that a musty smell coming from your dryer is a sign that something needs attention. It's not something you should just ignore or try to cover up with air freshener.
I couldn't agree more. A musty smell is your dryer's way of telling you something's wrong. And by addressing the issue early on, you can prevent further damage, keep your clothes smelling fresh, and make sure your home is safe.
It's all about listening to your appliances and giving them the TLC they need. So listeners, if you're dealing with a musty dryer, don't despair. Armed with the knowledge you've gained today, you can tackle that musty smell head-on and get back to enjoying fresh, clean laundry. And remember, if you ever get stuck or need expert assistance, you know where to find us.
Absolutely. You can visit our website at maxappliancerepair.sa or give us a call. We're always happy to help. But before we sign off, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Okay, lay it on us.
Remember that challenge we issued earlier, the one about cleaning your dryer vent? Well, I want to emphasize just how important that is. A clogged dryer vent is a serious fire hazard, and it's something that we see all too often here at Max Appliance Repair.
You know, I have to admit, I'm a little guilty of neglecting my dryer vent. It's one of those chores that's easy to forget about until there's a problem.
And that's exactly why we're talking about it. Most people don't think about their dryer vents until they notice a musty smell or reduced drying time, or even worse, a fire. But regular vent cleaning is one of the most important things you can do to keep your dryer running safely and efficiently.
So consider this your official dryer vent cleaning reminder from the Fix It Fast team. Add it to your calendar, set a reminder on your phone, or even better, schedule professional cleaning and take it off your mind completely.
Your dryer, your clothes, and your peace of mind will thank you.
Well said. And on that note, we've reached the end of another episode of Fix It Fast. Thanks for joining us on this musty dryer deep dive.
We hope you learned some valuable tips and tricks to keep your clothes smelling fresh, your dryer running smoothly, and your home safe from fire hazards. Until next time, happy laundering.